Hey, welcome to History, Countdown to Today. I am Dr. Wesley Jackson, Assistant Professor of History. Today's video is a review of Chapter 15, The West, 1865 to 1896. Here's the thing everybody gets wrong about this era. You've got Reconstruction in the South, and you've got the Wild West, cowboys, gold, all of it. Most people file those under two different chapters of American life. Wrong file, same drawer, same decade, same government, doing both at once with both hands. So today, three moves. 1. The political fight over what freedom actually meant after the Civil War. 2. How the West got built by corporations wearing a cowboy hat as a marketing gimmick. 3. How federal policy dismantled native sovereignty and slammed the door on Chinese immigrants. Often using the exact same legal muscle. Let's go. The war's over. The country has a genuinely strange problem. How do you readmit states that just tried to leave, while making freedom real for 4 million formerly enslaved people? Andrew Johnson's answer, fast and lenient. Pardons flowing like a going out of business sale. Southern legislatures immediately turn around and pass black codes. Laws that look like freedom on paper and function like slavery with new paperwork. Vagrancy statutes that let you arrest a black man for the crime of being unemployed, then lease his labor right back to a plantation. Congress was not amused. Radical Republicans override Johnson's vetoes and pass the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And then do what Congress rarely does anymore. They actually amend the Constitution 3 times. 13th, slavery is abolished. Not discouraged, abolished. 14th, if you're born here, you're a citizen. Full stop. Equal protection under the law. 15th, the vote cannot be denied because of race. And for a moment, it works. The Freedmen's Bureau helped stand up schools, churches, political organizations. Over 1,500 black officials get elected across the South. That's not a footnote, that's a revolution, functioning in real time. Then the backlash, the Klan, terrorism, and I mean that in the literal sense. Organized violence to make a political point. Meanwhile, up north, the Depression of 1873 eats everyone's attention. Federal resolve, expensive to maintain, cheap to abandon. The compromise, troops withdraw. The South is left to build Jim Crow, brick by brick, statute by statute, for the next 80 years. Modern parallel, briefly. Whenever you hear the federal government overreached, ask, overreached into what, and on whose behalf? Because the exact same government that overreached to protect civil rights in 1866 was, a decade later, perfectly happy to underreach the moment it got politically inconvenient. Now the West. You've seen the movie. Lone homesteader, six-shooter, big sky, nobody telling him what to do. Delete that. The 19th century West was one of the most heavily subsidized corporate projects in American history, and the government basically wrote the check. Homestead Act, 1862. Free land to settlers, sure, but look at the real money. Massive land grants handed to the transcontinental railroads. We're talking tens of millions of acres, essentially a permanent subsidy to Eastern investors to go extract everything the West had. Mining tells the same story. Guy with a pan finds gold, sells his claim inside 18 months to a syndicate with hydraulic drills. The lone prospector is the trailer, the mining corporation is the movie. And the cattle kingdom, everybody's favorite myth, lasted about 20 years. 20. Then it collapses under its own weight, overproduction, corporate consolidation. And then nature just says no. 2 catastrophic winters, 1886 and 1887, wipe out something like 90% of the herds in parts of the northern plains. Add barbed wire fencing in what used to be open range, and the cowboy goes from independent operator to hourly employee of a company he has never met. Modern parallel. Swap railroad land grants for tax incentives to build a data center. Swap cattle syndicate for logistics conglomerate. You're describing the same play. Public subsidy, private profit. Mythology sold back to the public as rugged individualism. All of that expansion needed the land to be empty. It wasn't. So federal policy made it empty, deliberately. Start with the bison, tens of millions of them, the entire economic and spiritual foundation of Plains nations. The U.S. Army and professional hunters, with railroad backing, shot them into near extinction. By the mid-1880s, more than 13 million bison killed. That's not a hunting statistic, that's a military strategy with a rifle instead of a battle plan. Resistance was real, and it worked sometimes. Little Bighorn, 1876. Custer's 7th Cavalry gets wiped out. But one battlefield victory cannot outlast an opponent with a telegraph network and unlimited weapons. Tribes get forced onto reservations. 1887, the Dawes Act. Reformers, who genuinely believed they were helping, break up communal tribal land into individual private plots. The stated goal is assimilation. The actual result is tribes losing an enormous share of their remaining land within a generation, piece by piece. And then there's Carlisle. Native children forcibly removed from their families, sent to boarding schools designed, explicitly, to erase language, erase culture, erase identity. Kill the Indian, save the man, was the actual stated philosophy. Say that sentence out loud sometime and sit with it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, Chinese immigrants, thousands of them build the Central Pacific Railroad, work the mines, do the labor nobody else wanted. Then the economy tightens, and white labor unions need a villain. 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act, the first federal law in American history to ban immigration explicitly by race. Modern parallel. This is the playbook every time immigration debates flare up during economic anxiety. Scapegoat the newest arrivals for problems created by others. So here is Chapter 15 in one sentence. The federal government used its power to rebuild the South, wire together a continent, break indigenous sovereignty, and police who got to come in the front door. Frederick Jackson Turner wants you to believe the West was boundless democratic opportunity. The evidence says it was also a corporate land grab backed by military force. Both are true. Get your primary source Project 15 in, and next time, Chapter 16, we start building the factories that all this westward wealth is about to pour into. See you then.